This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution. This is the future.
I always do that. Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foulball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Hope that you're doing well, because I'm doing phenomenally. Thank you very much. This is the 63rd episode of the MFer Podcast, not counting the one that my internet crapped out on and not the one that me and Michael did that was universally poorly received. So, you know, somewhere in the 60s, but officially on the books, 63rd episode. So I thank you very much for being here. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. I had a pretty low-key day, setting up for this stream. You know, it takes a lot of work. I do a lot of research for you guys. I pour over a lot of politics, and it's starting to crush my brain. It's starting to eat me alive. And I need to, like, disassociate from the politics. I think I'm, like, addicted, you know? Like, I remember, like, when the first like Trump administration was going on, and like you found all those people who were like the kind of like lefty people who were like super addicted to the media, just like addicted to the hate. Like I'm addicted to like the win. Like I'm addicted to like the, you know, what did he do today? How much money did he find today? You know, how's he owning the left today? You know, I just get like, I'm just addicted to it. But in that addiction, you also end up like with a lot more opponents' voices, which is like, that's fine. I wish I could just kind of pick and choose like when I can consume the ops, because it's draining, you know. And it's like if you go on X, which is I spend a lot of time on X, and I maybe should stop. Maybe I should readjust how I spend my time. But I just find myself going to that app all the time, despite the fact that I get no traction at all. I could tweet all day, every day. It wouldn't mean a damn thing. I don't know how you get any traction on X. I have no idea. If anyone knows, if anyone can answer it for me, let me know, because I get nothing. Zero. Zip. Clever GIF responses, and I think clever tweets of insight and intrigue. And nothing. This stream won't do anything on X. You know, as much as I support Elon, what do I get out of it? Bupkis. Ugats. Nothing. But so I spend a lot of time on X, and I just end up, I read like these, like, you know, so many inflammatory like libs, and then you hear a story, and then you look into it. Like, I'll give you an example. Today there was like some, I don't know where, some big state in the middle, you know, like Minnesota or Idaho or something. And some woman got dragged out, you know, out of a, what's it called, like a town hall meeting. And she was like, rah, my rights and all this. And, you know, everyone was like, oh, it was framed as like, can you believe this? Can you believe the jackboot thugs who pull this, you know, this citizen just voicing her opinion out there? And you like look at this and you're like, what is this? Then you look into it. And she'd been a disruptive force. They knew her by name because she goes to every one of these meetings and just like screeches like a banshee, just like forcing, like completely stalling the meeting, not allowing anyone to get anything done, and just acts like a total asshole. And is warned several times before she's forcibly dragged out. And when she is dragged out, the room applauds. Where's the injustice here at all? There is none, but they'll find one little clip, they'll clip it out, and it's like, and you spend time like debunking these jerk-offs, and it's draining, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, I need to try to like sort out the world. There's, I think it's a good thing that we have access to all this new information. I think that's a terrific thing. I think it's great that there's X out there, and there, even YouTube to a degree. There's a lot of like ways to. I was not at all big ship. I was right on time. I clicked that go live button at 00:00. I don't want to hear it from you. But there's also just as much nonsense out there, maybe even more. And it's harder to sift through. It's harder to know, like, it's almost like now you have this full-time job as like a research journalist, You got to like check sources and validate and cross-reference. And even like, even Grok, even Elon's new Grok, while on some levels is absolutely amazing. Like, I've been working on this script for a video about The Expanse, and I was cross-referencing the ratings of the first season with the most popular show at the time versus how much streaming numbers were going on versus what was the most popular show on Sci-Fi at the time. And it's all instant. It's it's an incredible tool if you could find like the uses for it. But at the same time, there was this thing going around Grok, and it was accurate. I looked it up. It's like, who's the biggest spreader of misinformation on the internet or on Twitter or whatever? And it said Elon. And you're like, okay, like, first of all, that can't be true. And secondly, it's like, where are they getting it from? And it turns out it's like, oh, even though the mainstream media is still is gay and irrelevant, these AI tools still all those outlets. When they do one of those AI searches, it still looks into all the media sources and aggregates that. And if they screech loud enough about like, who's spreading misinformation, well, then AI gets informed that it's spreading misinformation. And so even that isn't like omnipotent. And it's just so much. And I just think I need to, like, I found this guy. I hate when I mention YouTubers and I can't remember the name of their channel. Biscuit Sticks. I found this guy, Biscuit Sticks, and he did a really cool video series where he used AI. Speaking of AI, he used ChatGPT and made an AI called Evil Ed and had him play as the character in Baldur's Gate 3. And I guess like he used ChatGPT and it knew enough about Baldur's Gate to like pick spells and make all these decisions. It was pretty fun. It was really funny. Like, Evil AI came up with really creative, malicious ways to like wreak havoc on the world of Baldur's Gate. It was a really fun video. And I think I need more stuff like that in my life. I think I just need like complete detachment, no politics at all. No opinions, no need to look up any information, just enjoy. Because it's like stressing me out. I feel like genuinely stressed out. Having arguments in my head all day. I had a disagreement with my dad. He has got TDS really bad, man. Oh my God, it's bad. I didn't know how bad it was, but he was flat out denying facts. Like, the IRS thing with all the people over 100, the millions of people over 100. He's like, that's not true. I was like, it is, though. It's proof. Here's the document. You can research it yourself. And he's just like, no. And like, he wouldn't accept it. And I'm like, you can research it. You can look it up. And then but then he also like, I was like, Dad, you got to look out for other sources in the mainstream media because, they're lying. It's like, just like they lied about, and I listed off a bunch of things they lied about, just how they lied about COVID, the Hunter Biden laptop, Russia collusion, on and on and on and on and on and on. Biden was, mentally cognizant that, Kamala's got a chance at winning this election. Just so many lies. And he's like, I disagree with you on all those. And I was like, oh boy. Okay. Well, this is, you can't, if someone's arguing that the sky's purple, it's hard to move forward in the conversation. So it's like, all right, whatever, let's just move on. He's fucking in his 70s. Who cares? But, it's like those engagements. And then like, and the whole world is like, it's like this constant propaganda campaign going back and forth, and it's a lot of work to like figure out who's being honest. I mean, I feel like the left is just running such interference. If you Google any story, it's like it's just there's just so much to it. So I'm it's like stressing me out. It's tearing me in a million different directions, and I need to friggin' chill. I need to chill and like not, I don't know, get involved less. Maybe like once a week, maybe once every few days, take a look at politics. But in the meantime, it's like, it's so addicting. It's like, what else is he going to do now? Are we going to get in the IRS? What are we going to find? Are we going to get in the Defense Department? What about all those billions? It's just so exciting. It's a completely unique time that I've never experienced in my life. And I really appreciate it in a lot of ways, but it's also eating me alive in a lot of ways. Hello. What's up, Big Ship? If only a particularly wise large vessel told you to get off X for a bit a month ago. I know. You're not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's addicting. It's like, if I were an alcoholic, in that crazy couldn't possibly be scenario, but let's just, for hypothetical sake, let's entertain this wacky concept that I might be an alcoholic. In that case, it's not like when you're doing it, you're not like, oh, this is wrong. I'm hurting myself. It's like, of course, it, you're addicted. It's like an unhealthy behavior. That's very much how it is with me and political media right now. And it's really like there's two completely different stories. I mean, it's seriously like intel on two sides of a battlefield. You know what I mean? Like, if you listen to the media, the mainstream media, like, Trump's not only as bad as he was his first time around, he's actually worse. He's literally Hitler. He's literally Putin. I love the one where it's like he's literally Hitler and he's Israel's footstool. It's like, wow, that is an amazing feat. He truly is an incredible president because he was able to be a footstool for the Jews and the Nazis. That guy, there's nothing he can't do. There's nothing he can't do. He's unstoppable. He's an unstoppable force. He's a Nazi and he's a Jew lover. It's incredible. It's amazing. He really blows my mind with the feats he accomplishes. This Donald Trump character, he is something else. But it's like, I mean, it's crazy, and it's like there are just so many blatant lies. It's so frustrating. It's like J.D. Vance threatens military action on Russia, and it's like, no. He said they're going to start negotiating with Russia, and military action is a tool in negotiation. He didn't threaten anything. It's just so ridiculous. Like, I get it, it's like clickbait, you know what I mean? Like, even like YouTubers I like and respect, if you read their titles, you're like, Jesus, it's a click. It's like, oh, it's all over for Kamala Harris. It is what it is. But, hello, Morgan Holloway. Hale, I'm at work right now, so I can't really chat or see much, but I'm listening. That's all we ask of you. Just the fact that you're here means a lot, And the people that are here, why don't you give that like button a press, huh? Lick that like button. Give it a little dabble. Give it a little pop, little jab, please. And tell your friends. Tell your friends all about this wonderful podcast. Papa Cotton Ministries, are you married to the Monday schedule? You're up against some heavy competition. Is that a way of you saying you'd rather watch a different show? You don't have to stay here if you don't want to. While I appreciate it, you could just leave it open on a screen muted so I get the engagement time, so I get the retention hours. Now, is that true? Is there a lot going on tonight? Let me go to my subscriptions and see who's live. We've got Kadoli Sasquatch, Alec Baldwin's Finger. I don't even know who that is. Ironcaster, Pearl Davis is going up against a very big competition. Kill Tony. Yeah, that's a pretty big one, but this is a different. I'm not going up against it. Midnight's Edge is going right now. Steel Toe Morning Show, Prophet of the Dragon. Adam Krigler, I guess, just ended. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of competition. That's true. But there's a lot of competition every night. What night of the week are people not streaming? Maybe you're right. Maybe I should reconsider when I do it. Or maybe I'll just stream more. Maybe I'll just do more nights. I don't know. But it's, something to think about, I suppose. I'm happy with the same 6 likes from the same 6 followers. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I guess so. But I'm trying to get more people on this show, man. I want more profile. I want more people to see the MFer podcast. And if I don't get engagement on any platform, Honestly, recently, Instagram's been like one of my best. That's been the one that's been giving me the most engagement, the most views on my videos. They're just, the shorts I clip out from this show, but a lot of them get over 1,000 views, which is like rad, doesn't translate. No one transfers platforms, but it's something. It's better than nothing. Cotton Ministries. I don't research shit. Spreading misinformation is kind of a hobby at this point. I have like this unhealthy need to be right, like to be correct, not to be right and to win an argument, but to be right, to know, to have an understanding, which is probably unhealthy. It's probably some kind of control issue I'm not dealing with. Some control freak latent tendency or something like that. But I just want to know. I guess that's why it's like scary to just have an opinion, because you want to be like, no, this is a conviction. I am right about this. It is a lot. And there's so much interference run. There's so much contradicting information. Small Time Republic. Howdy. Part of the problem is most news agencies are trying to anger and not inform. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I thought you meant part of the problem like Dave Smith's show. Part of the problem is most news agencies are trying to anger and not inform. Yes, I agree with that. It is funny to see the left fearmonger. They've been doing it for a while, but that was like when I was a kid, when the evil Bush administration, actually I shouldn't say that sarcastically, the Bush administration was pretty evil, but that was the narrative of the Libs at the time, was the Bush administration was evil. And they're fear-mongering, the Fox News fear-mongers, and how dishonorable that was. And now it's just like, oh, Trump's going to get us into a world war. Trump's Putin's footstool. Trump. He's ending the government. They're going to arrest black people. It's like, yeah, the left-leaning media is completely fear-mongering shamelessly. It's pretty wild. Cotton Ministries, I'll watch Kill Tony tomorrow morning. Yeah, I don't feel any need to watch that live. I don't even really watch Kill Tony that much. I check it out every once in a while. It's fun. Zax, Matty Ice, what up, dude? Call me Ice because I'm fucking cool. Joe's Atmosphere. Hey, buddy. $1.99. Thank you very much. Keep rolling, brother. Love the podcast. Thank you, Joe. I love you. I love you. That's all you got to do, guys, is flatter me. I'm just like Trump. Just to flatter my ego, and I will tell you that I love you. But I did actually. I got one. Hold on. This is my little super chat response for you. So thank you very much, sir.
You're fucking all right, eh?
One more time.
You're fucking all right, eh?
That's from the movie Goon, starring Sean William Scott, which I watched recently, which was really quite good. Quite a good movie, even though it has maybe the worst first act I've ever seen. It's the most clumsy first act of any movie I've maybe ever seen. It's like scenes should be like portions of the film. They're like, oh man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's like, hey, you should play hockey. Okay. It's like that's not a scene. And there's like every scene for the first act of that movie just like rushes to put him in the place where he's a professional, like a semi-professional hockey player. And it's like there had to have been a more elegant way to accomplish that. But once they get him there, it's actually a lot of fun. I watched it once years ago. I don't remember loving it, but I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. The characters were really good. There's a little like swearing to the point where it's like, okay, we got it. You like little curse words. Har, har, har. It's like it kind of weakens it. But I would recommend Goon. And thank you very much, Joe's Atmosphere. One more time.
You're fucking all right, eh?
I like that one a lot. Hey, Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast. My first super chatter ever. That was years ago now. My word. Good to see you, sir. Oh, there's latent tendencies, all right. I understand. Latent homosexuality, I imagine, is your dig there. You know what? I am tired of being called a homosexual by you people, you know? It's not nice. It's not a sweet thing to do. Oh my God, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love the ball busting. It's super fun. I mean, like my best friends, that's how we communicate, is constant trashing. And that's a great thing, I think. I love it. I love it very much. Cotton, I like to be right aggravating randos online too. It's too much fun. I don't care what people think of me, lol. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's troll life, you know what I mean? I definitely talk shit online. I probably should talk less shit. I noticed something which freaked me out because, like, on Instagram, I feel relatively anonymous, you know? So sometimes I'll get a little spicy in certain comments. And then I was scrolling and it was like, oh, your friend commented on this. And it was like, they share things when your friends comment on shit. I was like, oh, no. Oh no, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't want people to get an alert that I commented on something, because sometimes my comments are not very nice. Sometimes my comments are mean. I don't want other people who follow me to know that on some other account I wasn't necessarily being a sweet, polite boy. I don't know. If being online isn't fun, why bother being online? That's a great point. I mean, getting informed, is a good reason to be online. But I think you're right. I think, especially if you're going to stream or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Kim Coates made a great Brigham Young. Oh, yeah, he did. That was great. What's funny about that movie is, I think we were talking about it on your show, Zach, but it's like how not that dumb the actual guy of Goon was. Like, they made him out like he was like borderline retarded, and it's like, you see him in interviews, he's like a totally normal guy. They make him out like he's just like, all they do is fight. Where we go? Where's the hockey game? It's just like, he's a dude. He's not retarded. But yeah. So, what happened in the news today? A lot of stuff, as always, and part of my burnout is also just staying informed so that I can be an informed podcaster. There was okay, I'll start off with one story that was going around when I woke up today, or in the morning or whatever. There was a story going around that the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl champions, were saying that they did not want to go to the White House and see President Trump after their Super Bowl victory. That was a big story. A lot of patriots came out immediately, reactionary and reflexively, without any information. We're like, yeah, fuck them. We don't even want them. Who cares? It's a disrespectful. And I'll be honest, when I heard that, I was a little bit like, ugh, how gay. Oh, really? Cool, guys. Then, it came out later today that there was no official response from the Eagles. And, in fact, they did make an announcement saying that if they were invited, they'd be honored. So all that upset boomer nonsense for nothing. All that ferocity and anti-Eagles sentiment and people probably burning their jerseys for the president. Not that anyone burned their jerseys. I don't know. Eagles fans are cult-like in their obsession of that franchise. But no, it wasn't a story. They never said that. And if they had the opportunity, they said they'd go in a heartbeat. Which is so funny. It's such a funny thing to get all wrapped up and bent out of shape about, and then it turns out they're like, oh, no, we never said that. We would totally go. Fantastic. God, I love that type of stuff. All right. This is, you know what? Speaking of hockey, let's go with this. Speaking of hooky, this was kind of fun. It's a cute story. It's not like a real story. It's just, it's a little cutesy tale. So I guess there was some kind of a charity game going on in Los Angeles. I don't know for what charity, and I don't know exactly why, but it looked like it was kind of like pro players versus celebrities. And this is the Biebs. Justin Biebs is out there on the ice, which I thought was kind of interesting. And look at Biebs going at it. That's him, number 6. Fake punching.
We got a fight. There's a fight. There's a fight.
Pulled his shirt over his head.
That's Justin Bieber. Somebody go help Justin. Help.
Like I said, just a cutesy story, not a real story, but I thought that was kind of fun. Bieber and some I think the guy was like a Hall of Famer or like a pro, like a pro NHL player, and Biebs was just going at it on the ice. They didn't look like he was really throwing punches. Look like they were just having fun. But I thought that was like, oh, yeah, get it, Biebs. Get it, Biebs. I like this this new rise of alpha male masculinity amongst guys who were kind of, sissies for a long time, like Zuckerberg, doing like his jujitsu thing, and like last 4th of July, he released that video of him just like drinking a beer with like his American flag coat. It's like, I'm here for it, I don't care if they're pandering to me or not. I think it's great. Make masculinity great again. But it is good. It's nice to see that like we can, as a society, move on from like the feminist dark age that was plaguing this nation for a long time, you know, where it was like anything masculine was seen as evil. And, you know, you're surprised I didn't make it in Hollywood during that time, eh? But this is good. I think this is fun. This is funny. It's just a simple, like, I like to see those little indications of culture switching. I think like I talked about it a few weeks ago, but they had the Super Bowl commercial that was Carl's Jr. and they had like a hot chick in it. You know, and it was like, it was okay. It wasn't toxic masculinity. It wasn't like evil men and their male gaze. It was just like, yeah, we're just having fun. Fucking everyone lighten up. Everyone fucking lighten up. Biebs was a decent hockey player. Didn't know that. Did know that, what's his name? Floyd Mayweather said that Bieber could really throw hands, like with the mitts, with the boxing mitts. So, yeah, kid might have had some athlete in him. It's kind of cool. Bieber's had like a crazy redemption arc. He was the butt of like every joke back in like, say 2011, 2012, you know? He was just like such a punchline for so long. And then like kind of got out of the limelight a little bit, you know, goes and marries that hot chick. Then all the Diddy shit comes out. We're all like, oh, sorry, man. We didn't mean it. We didn't mean all those jokes, dude. We didn't know. You're like, you start to feel real bad. And it's kind of like, now you see him in a totally different light. And you're like, good for you, Bieber. You know, you're like, oh, you poor fucking kid. What up, Low Spec? How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yeah, just different. So it's like, you're kind of like, yeah, good for you, Biebs. Good for you. What do we got? I guess I was just reading the articles that I have, and one of them is just titled Hitler Girl. Did you guys see the Hitler Girl? Bro, this timeline sometimes is insane. So I guess there was some German girl. This is so nuts. I guess she was protesting the AfD, which is Germany's like right-wing political party that I guess did not win their most recent election, but they had a bigger share than they've ever had, and that was terrifying to all the communists in Europe. And I guess she was protesting it, and she decided the most effective protest that she could think of was to get naked and make herself look like Hitler. Oh, that's pretty goddamn funny. I think there's someone who would appreciate that.
There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler.
That drop will never sound good. Yes, but this is the girl. So she was furious. The New York Post. You never stop. A woman protesting the rise of Germany's populist right-wing party was busted for scrolling swastikas while completely topless and looking like Nazi leader Adolf Hitler. Why? Why did she do What is up? The Boys Cast always talks about this with the topless protesting chicks, but why is that so big in Europe? Is it just because they're guaranteed to get press if they take the tatas out? I mean, I'm not necessarily mad at it, but it's always like, how can I put this? It's kind of like, it's like you're like, oh, nice, but you know that they're attached to a total maniac, so you're kind of like, you know, like, I don't appreciate them as much as I would like, as much as I think I would like to. But yeah, this girl, yeah, I guess she went out there to make a big statement and said, "Weidel Putin slut." That's her. She's kind of hot, to be honest. I mean, you know, I kind of like short-haired girls. I like that little tomboy look. I saw that going around on Twitter like a few months ago, and they were just like, men like women with long hair. This will never not be the case. Blah. And I was just like, wait, we don't like tomboys anymore? What happened to that? Tomboy chicks are hot. I was like, what was that? It's a weird stance. Like, you know, I think a lot of people on Twitter, I think I've said this before too, but they were like, you know, dogs who spent like their whole life in a cage, and then one day someone just came over and like opened the garage door and let them off the leash, and they just ran you know, and now they're saying like every single thing that pops into their head, and like they're just running wild and tearing over the neighborhood. I sometimes I'm just like, yo, chill. Like, why does it have to be? Like, you're making pretty good arguments for free speech being limited just with a lot of the stuff you people put out there. But anyway, I don't even know where I was going with that. But yeah, she wanted to. Oh yes, Europeans and Ukraine. That whole thing is pretty wild. I rest my case. You think that makes me gay? That I think tomboys are sexy? Oh well, whatever. Big ship. I have you muted while I'm in a meeting. Are you scrolling Kanye's X account as well? Do dogs talk to me? What do you think about my son of Sam? Is that what you're saying? The man dude, he likes lady boys. Oof. No, that's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Chicks with like short hair is like, that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, what's up, Dildo? How you doing, brother? What was I saying? Oh yeah, the whole Ukraine thing. Kind of, I find a little weird. Like, it's a war. It's a drawn-out war. And it seems like it only ends the way they want it to in, like, all-out war. It's like World War III is, like, the only way they're going to get, like, the outcome that they're looking for. It's like, we have to, like, eliminate Russia or something. It's like, yeah, that's not a good choice. That's not a good outcome. We shouldn't do that. So it's like, let's not, you know? Like, I find it fucking weird. And they're just like, oh, any concessions to Russia is like some kind of Nazi, oh, you're bootlicking and you're Putin. It's just like, so what? We just like send men and women into the meat grinder of the Ukraine-Russia front forever? Like, what could be the best case there? That like we just until Putin kills enough people that he quits. Let's get some peace. What are we talking about here? Let's end this stupid war. Like I don't understand. Like in Europe is just like nope, zero concessions, zero, not one concession, zero. Like there's this guy Scott Horton, and he wrote this book called Provoked. I haven't read it, of course, but I did listen to an interview with him on what's it called on Dave Smith's show, Part of the Problem. Great show for the most part. You know, I like their takes on most of the politics. They come from a very like libertarian point of view. Dave's very well read, unlike your host, your current host right now. But List does not give a flying flamingo about Ukraine. I like that. I like that kind of preschool teacher curse word, flying flamingo. No, I kind of don't either. But he wrote this whole book called Provoked, and about like all the years of terrible foreign policy from like the United States and NATO, and kind of pressuring just pressuring Russia into like reacting. You know, whether it's right or wrong, it's just like they kept saying the whole time, unprovoked. And then like Scott Horton writes this incredibly detailed and notated book called Provoked, where no, actually not quite unprovoked, quite provoked actually. And it was a really good interview. And he's done Dave Smith a few times. I would recommend checking out though. It was a few months ago, but it's like it's not just cut and dry. It's not just like, Putin was just chilling one day and was like, you know what we should do? Fucking get Ukraine. Let's get it back, dude. Let's get it. I'm not saying he's a good guy. And I certainly don't have a complex understanding of that whole situation. But immediately it seemed more complicated than they were depicting it, and it sounds like it is, especially according to the Scott Horton guy and everything that Dave Smith was saying. And it just seems like, yeah, we kind of have a hand in this more than just like, oh well, NATO. I don't know. And like, what's his name? Zelensky's like, I'll resign if you let me join NATO. And it's just kind of like, why? So the next guy can just continue. Now it is a world war. If you get your world war, you'll leave office as you rightfully should. Just hold an election then. It's crazy. I saw that going around. Absolutely nuts. Greg Hurst. Hello, Greg. So this some Elon MAGA apologist place or what? I mean, right out the gate, dude, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, if you're curious about what my point of views are, that's fine. But if you're coming out that immediately, like if I say anything good about Elon or Trump, oh, you're an apologist. So I already know where you stand. I already know what side you're on. You're just like everything they're doing is wrong. Anything that any kind of positivity is apologizing, as if it's like apologizing for like a fucking genocide or something. Yeah, I'm an apologist for cleaning up the government and stopping waste, ending the war in Ukraine, closing up the border, getting rid of DEI. Yeah, I'm an apologist for all that. Just go listen to Hassan, buddy. Go find someone who you can agree with, all right? I'll have a conversation, man, but I'm not just going to be, you an apologist. Fucking beat it, Greg. Morgan Holloway, finally on my last break, can chat now. Hell yeah. Listless receptionist, abolish NATO too. You know what I'd like to see NATO do is anything without the United States military. Good luck. You know, good luck with all that. We're like 75% of the budget. Beat it. This Hitler girl. I still have the article on the other screen. It's distracting. I had to click it off. Glinzer. What's up, baby? Haven't seen you in a while. War is the ultimate profiteering enterprise. Absolutely. And I'm pretty sure that's why all these EU people are like, we're not stopping this gravy train. We're going to keep it going. I don't care how many Ukrainians and Russians it killed. We're going to make some money today. Morgan Holloway. As a tomboy, I thank you, Matt. Although I do have long hair, that's okay. It doesn't have to fit an archetype. I just thought that was weird. It was like that's universally we don't think tomboys are hot. I was like, I kind of always did. I don't know. I don't really think it's that weird either. Small time. Back in 2012, way back in 2012, that was the first year that I lived in California, and I remember the Mitt Romney-Obama election. Back in 2012, Mitt Romney was laughed at when he said Russia was a problem. Funny how leftists totally flipped their opinion on it. Yep. It's true. It's true. But they flipped their opinion on everything. Like my friend Michael, communist, good guy though, but he was talking about, he's not really a communist, but I like to just make fun of him for being one. But he was talking about how, I guess a friend of his is like a real like lefty kind of like political like guy, but like older, you know, like in his 60s or something like that. And he said back when he was at Columbia in like the 80s, they like hated USAID or USAID because they were like, it's just a CIA slush fund to like spread like American imperialism through a different label. And they hated, all the lefties hated it. And now they're like, no, it's actually lots of good stuff. It's just like it doesn't matter, you know? That's a problem I think with like the left is, you know, if all you do is criticize, it's like, well, then I'll never hear any legitimate criticism because it's all you do. So I can't trust you. You know, like if you just had like a set of principles and you could kind of gauge situations based on those principles, you'd probably be on the right. But but if you could just, you know, use your principles and sort of apply them story by story and not pivot based on who's in charge of it, right? It's like the war in Iraq was terrible when Bush was doing it, and it was totally fine when Obama was doing it. It's like there's no principles here. There's no gauge of like what's the right thing for the country or even from your worldview. It's literally just so that your side is in power. It's like, well, then I want to make sure your side's never in power. That's my principle, because it's like you don't have any. You just have a love of power. No, thank you. Listless. Ukraine has been bombing that area since 2014. It's not out of nowhere. I'm not educated on this shit. Don't tell me I don't know. You might be right. But I think, like, regardless, it's probably pretty complicated. And how long do we keep this going for? Forever? This is just going to be another forever war that we're just always fighting? There's always people dying? Isn't it like almost 2 million people have died in this conflict? So this just goes on forever, EU? We're just going to keep it going forever, Europe? I don't know, man. I see. Senja Dildo, what's up, doggy? Terrible from whose perspective? Ukrainian, sure. U.S. elites, they got rich from it. I mean, this is something too that I you know, it's like it's so frustrating. It's like Zelensky goes and says he didn't get $100 billion of the aid that was sent. It's like he got like 75 billion and 100 he has no idea what. This is your hero, okay? Europe, lefties, he's your Jesus Christ. And he says that. Trump then says that, and they're like, no, it didn't happen. It's da-da-da-da. It's just like, well, the guy who's receiving the aid said it, you know? Who are we supposed to believe? Cotton Ministries. Lewis has a better take on politics than Jave. Just saying. That's funny. Wait, is this a trash zone? That's the best you got? Is this a trash zone? Greg, you know you're on YouTube, right? It's not like cable TV or the old day with NBC and CBS. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of channels. You're free to go there. You're free to ask questions and have a conversation too, but don't come out the gate like, is this a trash zone? Are you an Elon apologist? Wow, I bet we're gonna have a fucking fantastic discourse. I bet you're really a constructive intellectual. I bet you bring a lot other than negative criticism. I bet. Politics are kind of gay. Damn, he's going hard on this kid? Damn right. Don't come in here fucking talking shit. Don't come in here talking shit, bro. All hail God Emperor Trump. Exactly, Morgan. Exactly. I feel bad for the people of Ukraine, not the government. Yep. He likes the tomboy stuff. Okay, you're not all bad, Greg. You're not all bad. All right, that's okay. You can stay. Harry wins. Hi, Harry wins. President Musk is the second coming of Jesus Christ. Not even God can stop him. AI for president. Let's fucking go. Harry, that's pretty funny. I love it. You don't get it, Matt. They drop bombs with a rainbow painted on them, so it's okay. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You know, it's like they have gay people pulling the switch. That's fine. It's not mass murder if there's gays involved. ChatGPT 2028. Okay, here we go, Greg. You are being reasonable. Good. The left definitely overplayed the wokeness. That stuff should remain in academia. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It only has any kind of value in academia. Like a buddy of mine, Michael, is like, you know, he's a leftist, and he's such a up his own ass at times. But, you know, he talks about these things about how, you know, Jordan Peterson or James Lindsay or Brett Weinstein, how they get a lot of these sort of leftist philosophers wrong. Is, oh, that's not actually what Hegel said, or that's not actually what this guy said, and technically it's this, and technically it's that. I'm like, technically it doesn't fucking matter, man. What matters is the effectiveness of it. What is the end result? It's like you start going over this stuff with like forceps and a magnifying glass, and it's like, okay, dude, but like that only matters in an academic setting. And that's the only place for this type of conversation. It doesn't really matter effectively whether they completely meant this or they completely meant that. It's like, it's just all right, okay, man. Yeah, it's like, no, that's not an impressionist painting. Technically, that's pointillism. It's like, okay, it matters to art critics. It doesn't actually matter to, like, you know, the end user all the way down. Like, is it a nice painting? Do I like it? You know, like, well, technically, it's okay. Does it push forth more leftist policies that don't work? If yes, then I don't care. Zax, all the Ukraine stuff goes back to a treaty that got Ukraine to hand over their nuclear stockpile that I think they had the fourth largest stockpile at the time. Yeah, well, you know, I said I don't know what I'm talking about. I just don't see how we keep it going forever. We just keep the war going forever, huh? Listless. Notice how Poland's not worried about it though, but France is. Poland's pretty based, right? That guy. I just always remember that meme, him going zero, you know, while like Western Europe's just getting ravaged by all these like immigrants that are coming and like kind of undermining their entire culture. The president of Europe Poland was like zero, like no refugees, zip. It's like, fuck yeah, dude. That guy's got principles. Promises were made. I don't know the details, but never give up your nukes. Just like never give up your guns. Does Canada have nukes? Canada has to have some nukes, right? I know you guys don't have a huge military, but you have to have some nukes, right? Small time. Lex Friedman met with Zelensky and got the impression he was letting his emotion override logical decisions. Isn't Lex Friedman like a robot, though? Isn't he like more a robot than like what's his name? Zuckerbot? I don't know. Matt hates all South Africans equally. I don't hate all South Africans. I like Deontford. I like the rap group Deontford, you know? They're cool. And they're South African, although there's some weird stories came out about them. Communism theory, not practice. Thanks, indeed. If the news media was anti-Ukraine Russia war, Code Pink could get some TV time. Wait, if the news media was anti-Ukraine Russia code, I don't know what Code Pink is. Sorry, I bet that was hilarious, but I don't get it. This woke BS is rife in colleges. Oh my God, dude. It was there when I was there fucking 20 years ago. It wasn't. I went to two different schools. So I went to a county college. I went to a bunch of schools after this, but I went to like two colleges, and then I went to one in New York City called Pace University, and that was when my first real taste of like the woke shit, the racial ideology. Like I remember we studied this whole case about this. I think this white guy killed an Asian guy. And I think they were friends. I'm really trying to remember the details of this case, but the guy was killed and he didn't quite walk free, but he didn't really get like a real sentence. And the whole class was so concerned with whether it was racially motivated. And it's like, who cares? He killed a guy. Like what his motivations are is like the court failed and let a murderer walk free. Like you guys are more concerned with whether he did it for racist reasons versus that he killed a person. It's so weird. It's like there's this obsession with race and like racism that's like it's so all-consuming. It's like just let it go for a little while, man. It's like, okay, some people have asshole opinions. Okay. Like what are you supposed to do? They're supposed to install chips in people's brains so they shock them when they think something racist? Like I think we'll all be shocked out to oblivion, man. There's just everyone does it. And the thing is, like, it's only ever the one-way racism. I see so much racism against white people, like on Twitter, and it's like that's fine. That's totally okay because it's like racism is power plus like okay, all right, cool. You can generalize races and make like grand statements against a race, but if anyone notices anything, there's a big problem. Okay, okie dokie. Poland is also training their children so everyone could be more or less combat ready. Yeah, I that makes sense of where they're at. You know, they probably should. Poland is pretty worried about it. They're just not spurging about it. Yep. Poland is based. They refused all Muslim refugees but accepted 4 million Ukrainian women refugees. Those memes were pretty funny in the beginning when they're like, we'll accept, like Ukrainian refugees, and they were showing like all those models. That was pretty funny. Yeah, no, that's what I remember, that they were just like the zero meme. Canada has nuclear power plants. Missiles, no. You don't have any nukes? Do you have like air defense? I guess you guys just rely on us. I guess we really are the shepherds of Canada, which is fine. I mean, we like Canada. I just wish that like the government and some of the people would stop talking so much shit, just run your goddamn mouths. Where is this? Who is this live stream going out to? All these people I don't know who are just like, what is woke? When you learn shit, I'm confused. Well, Sargon of Akkad just put out a video today discussing woke ideology, so you can go there and learn if you need to. I suspect you don't need to. You probably just don't like critics of woke, so I'm not going to engage with this, if that's okay with you. I'm in college right now. It's bad, but my two main teachers are not political at all, thankfully. Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, it's a shame. It just infects everything. But I think what we learned from like the USID and just a lot of like the digging into all the guts of the federal government, it's like it's not even necessarily natural. It's not even necessarily like an organic like consensus or movement. It's like there was federal funding to promote it. So it's like, of course, there's going to be more of it if you pay for it. You don't pay for things you don't want more of. So it's like, of course, it's going to spread. But then it gives this like kind of false perception of a consensus where there really is none. There really is none. It's just like it's just a federally motivated program that, like, of course, gets funding, so it gets promoted. Well, Elon wants to install chips in our brain. Okay, Voltage. Okay, buddy. Cool. Mr. Grant Gregory, hello. Why do they sell hot dogs in packs of 8 and the hot dog buns in packs of 6? This is another issue that I need Trump to get to the bottom of. And when they fix this and they say, is this what you voted for? I'll be like, yes, it is. I want hot dog buns and hot dogs in the same number of packages. It's absurd. This is America. Is that even still a thing? I don't know. I just remember always hearing that joke as a kid, but I don't even know if that's true. Nuking Canada is basically nuking the U.S. Yeah, that's exactly it. They kind of live under our what's a critic of woke? It's so asinine. It's just kind of like, people try to lure you in with like these questions. Just like, what do you even mean? Okay. You're just curious? Or the first time you've conceived of these concepts and these questions? Okay, buddy. TLK life. Talk life? Woke has been taken and redefined. Now it's a slur. Yeah. Well, stop being so gay. Stop being so gay. The first time I remember woke was now. I mean, it's one of those words that almost has no meaning. But the first time I ever heard it was after the Trump administration, when he got elected, and everyone was sure that the country would surely perish, which it did not. Actually, did quite well. And then it was like, stay woke. Stay aware of what's going on. And then black people said that had been a term that they had been using for years to say, like, stay aware of, like, oppression. I don't really believe them, but regardless, it then became like, it's like social justice warrior. At first it was like a badge of honor, and then it just became like, oh, this is a catch-all term for all of this kind of pseudo-socialist race communism, gender communism ideology that's just plaguing the country and the world, and we're inexplicably, it just seemed to arise from nothing. So that it became, so if we learn we are woke, cool, man. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool, buddy. Pretty cool, pal. Listless, because hot dog buns also come in packs of 12. I don't know. It's a conspiracy theory. It's not big pharma. It's not big defense. It's not even big government. It's big hot dog. That's the problem in America and the world over. That's who really holds all the cards, the big hot dog industry. If we're ever going to get anywhere, we got to dismantle the hot dog supremacy. Oh, the hot dog oligarchy is ruining this nation and the world. Oh, my God. This is wild. I don't know where this stream is getting out to, but there are a lot of people who are not normally part of my algorithm that are here, which is, like, great. I guess. I don't know. Maybe YouTube rejiggered the algorithm, but Mr. Big Wig, Masia AG, Lig, Vietnam, Ham Jam, Fig Stig. What the fuck, dude? What kind of a name is that? Are you full MAGA now or still on the fence? I am full MAGA. I guess you have not been here in a while, if ever, because I don't know that name. But full MAGA sounds gay, but I fully support the movement and the president. I think those are the. Yo, there are some wild names in this chat, bro. What's going on? Who did this get out to? Well, anyway, yes, I fully support the president and everything that he's doing. The Gaza thing makes me nervous, but he probably won't even do that. Listless, I feel there are people in the chat who haven't been here for years already. Curious. It is quite curious, isn't it? I don't know what's going on. Very weird. Stop being so gay. I thought woke was about black people. What the fuck? No, I mean, I think that's how it started, but it's not about gay. That's the thing, right? Have you seen the new pride? Well, it's not even new, but the pride flag, they lump it all together, right? It's like gays, women, blacks, all the different genders. It's all one big group that isn't, anything traditional, straight, white, Christian. It's like those are the lines that they have drawn. So calling woke gay is actually fairly accurate. It's pretty spot on. Pretty academic there. What was your name? Rob or whatever the fuck? I don't know. BuzzFeed read a bunch of videos saying why white people shouldn't say woke. Of course they did. Why white people shouldn't take spaces and talk and blah, 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 blah. So woke is a comfortable place you put things you don't. Okay, what do you want, bro? What do you think? I'm gonna suddenly come around with your little shitty talking points? I'll be like, you know what? This guy's actually got a good point. Maybe we should make everyone gay. Let's keep ruining all entertainment. Let's do that now. Let's promote diversity hires and try to correct the past and ruin this nation and bloat the government, and yeah, let's keep doing that, because this guy said a few snarky comments in the chat. Now I have a totally different worldview. Thanks, Voltage. No, they've been using it since the 90s, but it was intersectional BS Eben back then. You are so oddly informed on things, dude. The things that you are aware of really blow my mind. I really think you are a sentient computer program, not a person at all. Obtuse, rubber goose, green moose, guava juice, the fourth. Okay, I blame Big Hot Dog for all the issue in America. I agree. I think that those are the fundamental issues with this nation is Big Hot Dog. We just uncovered it here. Completely honest reactions. Boner raid. Oh, it's a raid. Okay. Who is Boner? Okay. Sick. All hail Boner Nation. Who is Boner? Who are all these people? Thanks, Boner. Raid, B-Raid. You guys are great. Man of War, this is your Insta-scam and twatter indiscretions coming home to roost. Oh no, did I insult the wrong people? And they're like, we're going to go question him and make snarky comments in the chat. No, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Kamala Harris is great. And I think it was an injustice what they did to Joy Reid. Matt is homosexual but not gay. I think I'm gay but not homosexual, but that's fair. Woke is the new gay. You want to fight? Here, here. Why are you so academic? Jed's microscopic peen. Why are you so academic? I know. I'll stop oppressing the chat. You're right. No more diversity hires. Vets get lost, right? Yeah, that's what I said. Those the exact words I used, Voltage. Very well done. Not strawmanning the argument at all. Good work. That was very smart of you. And intellectually honest, most importantly. Said that was completely intellectually integral, or having integrity. Voltage, why are you gay? Why are you gay? Nega Grant. Nega Grant. Is this Grant? Is this your chat, Grant? Is this Boner? Are you the Boner? You meant that. Operation Outstanding Infill. What's up, Matt? It's Drew. We met in San Antonio Nerdrotic group meetup. How are you? How have you been? I've been great, Drew. Good to see you, man. Thanks for popping in. It's a lot of new faces today, which is very weird. Normally, it's a very quiet corner of the internet, but I like it. I think it's good. Not yours, all right. Well, thank you, Boner. Appreciate the raid. Thank you, Boner raid. Okay. What else? Oh, this is interesting. This is for all the haters out there. It's for all the haters, bro. Get dunk in your face, woke libs. But it does turn out Trump was right. Turns out Trump was not crazy at all with his tariff thing, which, I'll be honest, I didn't understand at all. I didn't know what the whole thing with the tariffs was. I did know that he did start tariffs in his first administration that were so effective that the administration who swore up and down that he was Hitler and all his ideas were terrible. Well, it turns out they kept a lot of them. Turns out they kept a lot of those China tariffs. They actually worked out to do pretty good for the economy and for the government. So they kept them. And everyone was freaking out about Trump's tariffs. Oh, they're going to bankrupt the country. Everything's going to go up in prices. Your iPhone's going to be $4,000. Well, it actually turns out Trump knew what he was doing. And Apple announces a $500 billion investment in America, including 20,000 new jobs and a new AI factory. What does that mean? Are they making robots? Are you making robots? Don't make robots. In a bid to beat China tariffs. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. So take that, haters. Take that, haters. I ended up reading a paper about this very thing. And apparently this was one of the outcomes that was like hopeful. You know, if it went right and it wasn't like totally crazy. And it did seem like Trump walked back some of the more crazy versions of his tariffs. Like when it first was announced, it did kind of seem like it was like, Jesus, dude, fucking calm down. It'd be like 95% on apples. You know, I was like, whoa, easy. But he made it more reciprocal, which is totally fair. I don't know who's against that. It's like the United States has the lowest import tariff in the world, bar none, before this Trump administration. 4%. The lowest of any country in the whole world. And some European countries, like their tariffs are so impossibly high, you literally can't compete in their markets. So manufacturing goes overseas because there's no reason to do it. Trump sees this as a businessman, understands that, and he's like, all right, tariffs are reciprocal. You have a tariff on us, we have a tariff on you. It's a just nice, even trade. And then he does this, and then Apple announces they're building all these factories. One in Texas, boy. One in Texas. That's right. That's right, Sentient Dildo. Let's go. Let's go. Good grace to the algorithm, maybe. Hey, I'll take it. I don't know why. You know, I understand the YouTube algorithm gets shook up every once in a while, but I'll take it. Thanks for being here, brother. Good to see you. And you're getting a free F-16. Damn right, bro. Park it outside, put some flames on it. Track some chicks. Track some chicks with my F-16. The Wake Down. What's up, doggy? Just noticed some bitch took my wrench away. I don't take wrenches from anyone. I don't know. Maybe it's the algorithm. I didn't do it. I have no idea what's going on. Voltage. Hello, Voltage. Host, do you like... My name's Matt. Okay. Do you like our current form of economy, or would you change it? I would probably make it more anarcho-capitalistic, if I'm being completely honest. Voltage, that's what I think we should do. I think that'd probably be the most effective. Let people make value by creating value, not being forced to purchase things, or kind of falsely inflate the value of certain companies and certain services. Just make them all fight it out in the arena of free trade. Free market, I mean. That's what I would like to see. I think that would be the best case. But then again, I'm not all that smart or educated. So, take it as you will. Chicken shit money. Where the fuck that 4.7 trillion with a T in treasury payments? That I don't know what you're talking about there, sir. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I got served this, but the Outlook Convon, I imagine you mean Convo, is decent. Well, thank God. I'm glad. Hey, glad to be here. Look, it's a pretty cool, room, but we're just like, just don't come at me. Don't come at me like that, bro. Don't come at me like that. Always interested in hearing views from the other side. That's good of you. I'm not quite the same anymore because I feel like I've had that lib shit shoved down my throat for most of my life, so I'm a little sick of it. I don't want to hear what you say. I'm tired of it. Host means it's AI, lol. Oh, okay. I thought he was addressing me as host. I was like, whatever, bro. So you're a lib. Libs love free market capitalism for what I understand about them. I don't think you understand much, to be completely honest there, sir. If that's your interpretation of a United States lib, they're super pro-regulation. They love regulation. They love government. The government's going to save us all. Capitalism's evil. Big corporations are ruining the planet, yada, yada, so on, etc. I don't think you are very well informed on what a lib is. But I think it doesn't really matter because I think no matter what I say, you're going to attack it. So, small time. Hopefully the Apple factory workers in Texas won't need the safety nets outside their upper floor windows. Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It does get hot, though. If there's no air conditioning in that Texas plant, people might be diving out the window just to save their lives. Wait down. I love the idea of the free market, but the idea. But in reality, it's a bit different. We started with one. Then a few cunts made their money. They used it to corner and control markets. Some rules are needed. Like I said, you know what I mean? It's certainly not my area of expertise in any way whatsoever. But it does seem that, like you said, like the idea makes the most sense, right? It's like a business should have to provide value. I should have to want to purchase that thing. There should be as much competition as possible to drive down prices, because if one business or several businesses corner the market, then prices are controlled by those several businesses. And it's like health insurance is a great example. It's like we should have a lot more competition for that particular industry so that the price can go down so that average people can just afford it. It doesn't become like you have to take out a mortgage to, get health care. But I think a lot of that has to do with how big Medicare is, how much of those expenses that the private industries are competing with government. But once again, I don't really know all that much. I'm not all that well read on this free market stuff. It's just a thing that sounds best to me. But I'll tell you what. If I got elected, if someone put me in that office, I'd be like, I'm not really qualified to make these decisions, Put Dave Smith in there. He knows what's going on. Libs love welfare states. I should know. I live in one. That's what I've been saying. No, I guess not. You're wrong, List. Your experience is wrong. Libs love capitalism. Anything to advance the rich. Both Republicans and Democrats love capitalism. Okay. All right. He's not wrong, technically. U.S. Republicans are at their core liberal. Yeah, I guess they're like classical liberal, like Lockean liberal. Not the way we define liberal, where there's like this sacred underclass of people who've been oppressed by the system, and they're the most important people, and the only reason they're oppressed is because of evil, straight, white Christian colonizers. So I guess you're correct. You're correct in that regard. But practically, when we refer to libs, we kind of mean like, the lefties in America. At least that's the terminology I'm using. Sure, Matt wore a dress on camera, and he played a BDSM lamp for an old lady, and he owns a cat. I own 2 cats. And he drinks White Claws. I also drink Mighty Swell. It's a better brand of seltzer, but he's not a lib. Just look at that haircut. Well, that's just a lib haircut. I look like I'm in the military. I don't know. I don't consider myself a lib, but I'd rather my money go to the poor than the rich. I'd rather my money go to me, man. I'd rather it not be forcibly taken from me so I can make whatever decisions I want. And if I do want to support the rich by, buying an iPhone or whatever, fine, so be it. That's my choice. I just don't want I don't want to not be my choice. And then I don't want zero oversight where it goes. I certainly don't want to spend $50 million on male circumcisions in Mozambique or whatever the fuck. Okay? That's my concern. I think USAID's doing a good job exposing all this happy horse shit. Oh, here's $17 trillion for DEI grants and colleges. No, I don't want any of that. So, no, I'd rather choose to give my money to the rich than not choose my money to go to whatever ridiculous programs they cook up that week. That's how I feel about it, and I don't think that that's unreasonable at all. Hurst, I'm just wired. Wired or weird? Supply side, ecom, and climate stuff pretty much secures my vote, but I don't think people need anti-racist instructions. DEI wokeness is a definition problem. Hey, look, you are reasonable. Good. Wonderful. Supply side, econ, I don't know. I'm not sure necessarily what you mean by that exactly. I assume you mean on the left. And climate stuff, I don't know about that one either. I mean, that's your decision, but for me, the climate stuff is just kind of like, yeah, but their solution is, guess what? Giant government. Also, no fossil fuel anymore. Electric cars only. Oh, we don't have the grid for that? We don't care. We're going to use energy negative solar panels and windmills that, actually cost more energy than they'll ever produce. Let's do that. It's like, these are terrible solutions. If anything, go nuclear. No, nuclear is bad. Okay, shut the hell up then. Don't want to hear it. DI wokeness is a definition of a problem. I agree. Yeah. Taxation is theft, full stop. Let's go. State-based. State-based. Aw, that's nice, Listless. A little mean, but that's nice. I'm only here because Matt's handsome. I was hoping that I was entertaining or at least insightful or something funny. I don't know. But I guess it's just my pretty face. All right. Well, thank you. That's at least a compliment. Man, they're not happy out here. With all that missing USAID money, I look forward to wokeness no longer creeping into my classroom. God, I hope so, brother. God, I hope so. All right, let's just check out this article real quick. Apple will spend and invest $500 billion in America, hiring 20,000 new workers into research and development roles over the next 4 years as part of its largest ever spend commitment. Largest ever. Let's go. The company revealed today. Man, I am thirsty. Silicon tech giant pledged to build on Apple's long history of investing in American innovation and advanced high-skill manufacturing after President Donald Trump pushed companies to shift their manufacturing back home. Yo, this is pretty sick. Because think about this. We lose all those government workers, right, who basically just cost money. They don't actually produce really any value. And ask anyone who's ever worked in government, they'll tell you that government employees are maybe the most inefficient employees on the planet. So they're really just costing money, regardless of even their ridiculous things that they're working on. It's like just net loss for the American people. These are private sector jobs that actually will produce value and salaries for people and, more tax revenue, more profit for the GDP. I'm not sure if that's accurate, but anyway, it's good for the American people. And guess that too. Also, if you think about it, it's good for the profile of Apple, right? Like, what's the one thing that you always can kind of say about Apple? Like, whether it's, whatever you say about the actual nuts and bolts of the products or the software or whatever, you're like, well, it's made with slavery. That's the part where you're like, yeah, that's kind of true. It's a little bit like, yeah, that's not wrong. But if you kind of eliminate that, it's just like, well, I mean, that's great for the profile of the company. If we can kind of keep the costs relative and there's you don't have to have that terrible PR of hiring slaves to make your iPhones. That's a net win all around. Apple said the investment would help support a wide range of initiatives that focus on artificial intelligence, silicon engineering, and skills development for students and workers across the country. The announcement comes after CEO Tim Cook met Donald Trump last week amid fears of many Apple products that are assembled in China could face 10% tariffs imposed by the president last month. Cook said we're bullish on the future of American innovation. Let's go. How many corporations were saying that last year? We're bullish on the future of American innovation? That sounds like Reagan-era shit. Let's go. We're proud to build on the long-standing U.S. investments with this $500 billion commitment, blah, 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 blah. From doubling our advanced manufacturing fund to build advanced technology in Texas, let's go. We're thrilled to expand our support for American manufacturing. Hell yeah, Tim Apple. Way to go, buddy. Way to invest in America. I like people who invest in America. It's good stuff. That is good darn stuff. I like it. Oh wait, hold on. What do? Oh my God, you guys are talking a lot in this chat. It's hard to keep up with everything. Okay, Greg, curious about you. Lol, I'm in Wyoming too. We're getting a nuclear reactor, but it's coal and oil to the core as well. So, what's the point? What's the point? It's all nonsense. It's all noise. That's why I just praise Elon and Trump. Apple's new marketing slogan, we're 25% less slavish now. Huh? 25%? Better than it was last year. Buy another iPhone. Buy a third. Apparently, Apple's, this iPhone, the 16 that they gave me for free, apparently sold really poorly. As I understand it, they're actually not going to do their yearly releases anymore. They're just going to kind of release it when it's actually innovative, which is like good. Finally. It's stupid to have these yearly releases. I forget what model I had. They're all the same. What's the difference? And then it's like all that packaging and shipping and stuff like that. Can't be good. Can't be good for, landfills, the climate, if that is a real thing. Which I don't really know. But I think that's good. And it's also just a better product in general. It's like if it has more of a launch. It's like there's a reason we're launching this. Not just like, well, we got to put one out. It's October. Everywhere will go nuclear if they want to continue to develop AI. Inevitable. Ooh, interesting take. Interesting take, Liz. So you're probably right because apparently those AI searches use so much more processing power or like server space or whatever than a Google search. It's like so much more expensive for the company, so they probably need a lot more power. That's interesting. I wonder if AI will lead to nuclear. It does seem like nuclear is like the way to go. Just seems like it's the cleanest, most efficient. You have to deal with that waste, but they've gotten better at that. They've gotten better with the safety of it. I don't really see the argument against it, really. I don't know. It's like, isn't France like completely energy independent and they have like all those nuclear power plants and like Germany's building like coal plants? That's progress. That's progress for you, Germany. There you go. Make sure you don't insult someone because you'll get arrested. But then we'll just build coal plants to solve climate change. Christ almighty. That's where you're getting gay Reaganism. That's what you're getting, gay Reaganism. That's what you're saying. Oh, is that what this administration is? Gay Reaganism? I'll take it. It's been talked about AI needs massive power draw and our aging grid ain't going to cope. Yep, that's true. Plus, if they're pushing all these electric cars. But Trump did stop the electric car thing that Biden put in place, which was so misguided. Completely, obviously. They say nuclear is getting pretty safe. That's what I hear, Greg. That's what I hear, pal. Which is good. That's great. Germany may be moving more towards nuclear, more toward the right. Yeah, I saw that. The AFD, twice the numbers. I don't know anything about the AFD. I don't even care, really, what goes on in Germany. I don't give a shit. I was thinking about that today. I was like, yeah, I don't care. Who gives a shit what you guys do? Do whatever you want. Be as gay as you want over there. It doesn't matter to me. All right. Joy Reid got fired. It's kind of fun. That's kind of fun. Joy Reid got fired. She's an insufferable harpy. Not that I care. Not like I watched MSNBC. I'm like, oh, now the programming will be entertaining. It's just that's one of those like voices that circulates, so you have to encounter clips from time to time. It's just like, it's like if like DEI and woke could take human form, it would be Joy Reid. If you could just take all those concepts and just like put them in a machine and pull a big switch and whatever would walk out, that would be Joy Reid. It's just like the most insufferable, like irrational, impossible to debate, no gray area, like just blah, blah, blah. It is, I think, I guess it's like, it's not very Christian of me. But you're not supposed to like relish in other people's like failures. You're not supposed to take pleasure in that. But there is something kind of fun to see like people who have like these like established positions, right? Like in the media, right? They take out like it's a fixture. It's like they're there. They're just part of the landscape, the media. Like they have this authority because they're there. And then when they're just not, it kind of rules, you know? It's kind of sweet to see that. Like when Don Lemon, when he's gone and like now he's completely irrelevant. It's like, of course they're all irrelevant. Like none of them have like their own ideas. It's not like they're pounding the pavement, you know, like investigative journal. They're not investigating anything. They're just, talking. They're just having the talking points. They're doing what their network stance on everything is. Like, there's no, I think Trump's doing an okay job. That doesn't exist. So they're just talking heads. And then when they get dethroned, it's kind of satisfying in a way. Like, Lester Holt's out. Like, it's interesting because there's that one guy on CNN that I've been seeing clips of that he, is I wouldn't call him conservative or anything like that, but he's, a little bit more, observes the facts as they exist and then talks about them as they exist, doesn't put spin on literally everything that happens. Gives kind of an honest assessment of the situation, and it's nice to see. It's refreshing, So I don't know what MSNBC is going to do, if they're going to kind of be follow that model and actually have realistic points of view. But that's the thing I think about what this entire month, it's only been a month of Trump, that is exposed is the regime supports itself, right? There is a voting base that believes it, but in its actual infrastructure, it supports itself. It isn't an organic thing. It all kind of spouts out of government and then just sort of has tentacles that all kind of filter into all these different avenues and agencies and institutions. But without that, it kind of collapses on itself because it is irrelevant. It's clearly not what the people want, Even if they think they want it, or even if they think they don't, what's in the best interest of the people for the most part is to have more personal wealth and less tax burden and less foreign interference. I mean, that's probably in the benefit of almost every single American, right? I mean, it's less likely that your kids are going to go die for some stupid war. You'll have more money to feed your family or go on vacations or whatever. And then the government ain't spending your money on bullshit. I mean, that's pretty much in the interest of almost most Americans. The only people who wouldn't be would be people who are on federal assistance, right? And then people who are parasites who leech off the system. I'm sure there's other instances, but I feel those are kind of the two major categories. But for the most part, I think people would, as a whole, just do better with less taxes and more personal wealth. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. What are you guys saying? What are y'all saying in the Chiznat? In the Chiznat. Oh my God. Kill me. All right. Wake down. I want to see a company go full extremism. Really lean into it. But buy our new smartphone. It only costs $15 thanks to our entire work. Jesus Christ, dude. This guy's a teacher. He teaches kids. They say nuclear. Oh, I actually went pretty far back. Okay. There's been huge innovation. Okay. Gay regulation. Okay. Germany is lost. I don't care about Europe at all. Maybe the next time they drag the world into war, we can sit it out. That'd be nice. Right now would be good. We're all pretty invested in this current war, though. It's so far away. It is far away. She's an unapologetic racist. Fuck Joy Reid. Yeah, fuck Joy Reid. Yeah, absolutely. She's the worst. And it's just so obnoxious. It's the kind of thing. It's the kind of thing that, if she wasn't on TV, you wouldn't even acknowledge it. Because it would just be so absurd and ridiculous to be like, okay, whatever. But it's the fact that she's on MSNBC, on a major cable network where she gets to say this. So it just, gives weight to it. It's crazy. Insufferable harpy. Indeed. Schadenfreude. Literally means relishing other people's failures, lol. Yeah, I know. You're not really... It's not a good thing to do, though. But there's certain times where it's well, I'm certainly not sad about it. If they have a true following and are not just teleprompter readers, they can find success on their own. Yes, and we'll see how that goes with Joy Reid. Don Lemon has not made any kind of a foothold. Does anyone listen to Lemoncast or whatever he's doing now? I mean, that guy's probably got so much cash. It's whatever. He can just take the rest of his life off. I mean, his exit deal from CNN alone was $19 million or something. He's chilling, dude. Don't have to do anything. Live off the investments. That's the other thing too. Is while these people talk about all these people who are these big critics, it's you guys are rich. You all have investment firms and private chefs and you fly private. You know what I mean? If you practice what you'd preach at all, you just live modestly. And give all your money away, right? Have enough to have, but give it all away to all these poor people who have it so bad. It's well, you don't want to do it. You just want everyone else to do it. That's the paradise. While you get your exclusive elite group, You still get to go to your lovely vacations and the country club of your choice and whatever other bullshit you're up to. But hey, everyone else, you people making $50,000 with 3 kids, you should be giving 40% of your money to the government. How dare you not do it? Fucking hypocrites. It's just nice to see browbeating go away a little bit. Greg, you know what? You're not so bad. You're not so bad, buddy. You can stick around. You don't think we're getting played for what has been done for the American people? Are you saying with this current administration? I would say, A, just transparency. That right there. Just transparency on where the money's going is huge. This is unprecedented. I've never seen that. The only time you ever see this stuff is like when Ron Paul or Rand Paul, either one of the Pauls, just not Jake, and would get in the government and would have and went this grant for this for monkeys trying to wear clothes and this grant for lesbian astronauts and all crazy shit. And you're like, wow, that's nuts. But we didn't know how widespread it was. We didn't know it was this entire arm of the government is funding this stuff. All this international development things, and countries were we should not be spending money on that at all. It's who knows what that money's really going for? Is it going to corrupt officials? Are they just handouts? Are they funding CIA operations? It's just what is all that? These are all just line items that they're so absurd when you read them out loud. We've never had any kind of transparency like that ever. And I think every single dollar of federal money that is not spent is good money. The federal government is the biggest organization the world's ever known. It's got the most power and the most consolidated, just wealth ever. And so it's a good thing if it gets limited. It's not a force for good. At least it hasn't been. I mean, geez, how many wars are we going to fight till we realize, maybe they shouldn't have all this power. Maybe they should be limited. Maybe that was the point all along. Man of War. Falling down on your Trump Musk sycophancy, Doge said that within the government, the TAS field was optional for about $4.7 trillion in payments and was often left blank, i.e. untraceable. Oh, is that the Treasury checks that were just sign them all, just the money going out the door? Yeah, there's a lot to look into. It's been a month. It's been 35 days or whatever, man. And they've already done so much. I'm very optimistic. I'm very hopeful. I think we're going to keep doing great things. I mean, I think there's lots of other departments to get in the guts of. Department of Education is a big one. The IRS is a big one. I do want to see if there's gold in Fort Knox. I never even thought about it until everyone's like, we should go look. And it's just really? Wait, are you going to say maybe it's not there? Who's great? Got a mountain out my window, a lake, a river, 5 minutes from solitude, only losing an ocean. Who's great? I don't know what you're talking about, but that sounds sick. I mean, nature rules. My buddy moved to Seattle for that very reason. Left Austin to go to Seattle. Gay. Regular people are always getting played. Indeed, of course, because you don't have any power. You don't have any influence. You're not in the cool kids club. You're not in the in club. Here's the real problem. No arrests, no convictions. We have the records. We know where the money was. We know where the money went. Same as the Epstein list. Well, the FBI just got 2 power players in it with Kash Patel and that other guy, Beningo. Is it Joe Beningo? Is it the New York radio guy, Joe Beningo? Is he in there? I think that's who it is. I think he's gonna get some federal funding to make sure the Jets get a good draft pick next year and get a defensive line. I think Joe Beningo. That's what his influence is gonna be. But yeah. We'll see. And we'll see. Like I said, it's been 35 days. Let's see where things go. Current war was cooked by the U.S. Let's not kid ourselves. EU lapdogs are just like that, lapdogs. Yeah, well, I mean, it's a global world order, unfortunately. The NATO is just an extension of the American empire. Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's not good. It's not good. Lemon drops. Those are his fans. Hey, my little lemon heads. It's Don here. Just press like and subscribe. That's pretty funny. I understand wanting your money to go to the poor, but I don't trust the government to make this happen. Well, and also, by the way, government money going to the poor only perpetuates the poverty. That has been so proven by the welfare experiment in the United States of America. It has just perpetuated the poverty and made the problem much worse. It's far worse than it was. The statistics do not lie. The crime numbers have skyrocketed since the 60s. The out-of-wedlock births have skyrocketed since the 60s. It's abortions. It's way, 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 way worse. So no, I don't want my government money. I don't want my money. I want money going to me. To me. As much of it as possible, please. Please. For the Dems, Ukraine was about money laundering and human trafficking. All right. I mean, that's true, but I can't just keep reading anything. But you're probably right. For the Republicans now, it's a rare metals and land deal. Trump was just talking about that this morning. Yeah, I heard that. Logan Paul for Prez. The list is crazy. That was nuts. Gender equality hubs in Mozambique. It's called tactical wokeness. Yeah, I like the sound of that. Tactical wokeness. That's funny. $1 million to get tiny shrimp to run on treadmills. Is that real? Was that a real one? I mean, I wouldn't shock me. All this stuff is so crazy. It's like, I was mentioning the Boy Scouts earlier, but they will always talk about these scientific studies. And like, Danny's like, I'm done with scientists. I'm done. Because it's like they'll do these ridiculous studies that are like, yeah, obviously. It's like, that just by being a human being. But they'll like spend all this money and it'll always be like, scientists think. They're not sure. They never draw conclusions because the second they draw conclusions, the funding dries up. That's probably where all this stuff comes from. That's probably where it is. I have a theory that's happening as to what's happening, Matt, but Matt's not going to like it. What are you criticizing Trump too? You fucking turncoat? Fucking turncoat lib. I knew it! I knew you were a lib! The big ship. That shrimp sounds pretty cool, though. What about soft power? They clarify what they said was inaccurate. I don't know what you're referring to. Also, soft power, like, I don't think we need to rule the world, bro. I just think we need to worry about America and America's interests. I don't really think we need to rule the world. And regardless, we don't have any money for any of this stuff. We're $34, $36 trillion in debt. We get faucets closed, man. Faucets closed. We got to take care of us. Got to take care of this country first, Hey, look, if we go under, we go bankrupt, we can't help anybody, can we? No, we can't. That's funny. Ukraine is so last season. Next big thing going to be U.S.-China proxy war in Canada. Are we going to fight you or are we on the side of you? Are we fighting China by fighting Canada? I know there's a lot of people benefiting from China and Canada. Wasn't there what was that thing about the elections? There was like some election thing with China. I don't remember exactly what that was about, but I remember there was like in Canada, like China was like directly influencing elections. Not like kind of subtly with like tweets. It was like they had like Chinese nationals voting in them or something. There was a whole thing. Conspiracy theories. World Trade Center 7 held more gold than Fort Knox ever saw. I know. I saw Die Hard with a Vengeance. I saw that movie when they go to Wall Street and they rip off all the gold. I knew that already, obviously. Man, you guys are chatty today. I like it. Okay, I'm going from the bottom up. Wait, hold on. Okay. In the meantime, they get to rub it in our faces, what they've been doing. Yeah. Come on, Matt. You need to call GAE, the Global... The Global American Empire, GAE. That's like in South Park when they're like the Film Actors Guild. And it just had everyone's like Matt Damon, fag. Matt Damon. Smash that like button harder than Elon smashes mid baby tramps. I thought everyone was kind of going pretty hard on that girl. I thought she was pretty hot. Ashley St. Clair. Yeah, even though her motivation seems suspicious. I thought she was pretty. Everyone goes so hard on women on the internet. They're just like, oh, what a pig. It was just like, I don't think you'd react like that if you saw her in real life, but okay. Oh, that shrimp shit is for real. I forgot what college it was. Oh my God, that's amazing. That's amazing. This is real. You can look it up. A few years back, the U.S. Navy spent about $6 million trying to teach dolphins to disarm bombs underwater using their dicks. That's kind of awesome. I don't think it's a terrible idea to have dolphins disarming bombs. It seems a little crazy. But there's this guy out there, this YouTuber, fantastic YouTuber named The Fat Electrician, and he talks now kind of more about like famous and really impressive men throughout history, they're great. It's great. I love his videos. They're awesome. But he started off kind of doing more wacky stuff, and there was a plan in World War II to strap incendiary bombs to bats. and they would let them loose in Japan. And so the bats would they'd let them loose, and then they would go roost in the houses and stuff, like in Japan and all their wooden houses. And when they did that, they would set off the bombs, and it would just burn cities to the ground. And apparently it would have actually been more destructive than the nuclear bombs we did drop, which is crazy. But there's actually a history. There's a lot of animals being used as weapons in the 20th century, not Andrew the Great or Alexander the Great with elephants and stuff, way more recently using chicken bombs, chicken nukes, and it's crazy. You should check out Fat Electrician's great watch. Definitely recommend it. America first, goddamn right, Cotton. Goddamn right, Cotton. Greg Hurst, oh my God, that shrimp on treadmills was for some 10 years ago. I'm sure there was a good reason though. Oh, I'm sure there was a great reason. Maybe it was going to power EV chargers for electric cars. I bet that's what it was. Matt encounters a poor kid in the street begging for money. He tells them they're wrong for advocating for Keynesian economics and keeps walking. I have never seen a child begging for money in my life. I've seen plenty of crackheads. Lots of crackheads. I got immune to that pretty quick. When I was in New York City, you for years, you start to grow a thicker skin. Then in LA was bad. And now in Austin, I'm like, just get the hell away from me, man. Just get away from me. Leave me alone. Don't talk to me, you filthy beggar. Listen, we're either going to China or the U.S. I'd rather not be China. We're so deep infiltrated by China. Yeah, man. Y'all just need to come over to our side. You know what I mean? We like Canada. We've always liked Canada. There's been some animosity of late, but I think Canadians are, they're sweet. They're our sweet neighbors to the north. Greg, they can race those motherfuckers if they want. Regular people shouldn't pay for it, though. Yeah, here. Die Hard 3 better than Die Hard 2. Fight me. Who's advocating for Die Hard 2 over Die Hard 3? I've never heard anyone make that argument ever. Die Hard 2 stinks. It's really boring. It just doesn't even work. Even Die Hard 3 is a little thin, but it's definitely better. Die Hard 3 is awesome. Remember when China executed government officials over spoiled milk? No, but that sounds like something China would do. That sounds a very China thing to do. Then why is it going to be all billionaires, not infrastructure or healthcare or education? Who's saying it isn't? Why is it all going to the billionaires? I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't think it is. Didn't Elon just say he was going to give $5,000 to every person who paid taxes? That's not billionaires. I don't know. And just less income tax for all people is more wealth for them. That's not billionaires. I don't know. And I think we spend more on healthcare in this country than anyone else in the world. Yet we have the lowest cover. We're sick, and it's a lot of us don't even have coverage because it's so expensive, and we all spend so much on it. It's why? Probably because the system's fucked. Let's look into it. U.S. would fight for the oil, minerals, and land. China wants to keep running their fentanyl super labs here. I wish I was joking. I think that's why Trump was so concerned about the Canadian border. Why he was listen, come to the table on this one. This is a real problem. Trump has a funny way of communicating, but a lot of times he's right, man. You hear him say stuff, you're like, what the hell? What are you even talking about? And you look into it, you're like, no, it turns out he was right. Happens a lot. Come on, the only thing that's in Fort Knox is a skeleton and Odd Job's hat. That's funny. Yeah, probably 67 guards. Our government is elected by Quebec and Ontario. We don't need Chinese interference. Our media takes care of the narrative. Yeah, you guys have a lot of issues. Here's a good example of a free market problem. Canada only has one airline, and it sucks because it's there's no competition. So it's when there's no competition, just imagine every incompetent employee you've ever worked with, right? Especially those who had no reason to fear for their job. How hard did they work? Very, very often it's bad. They have very poor employees because if there's no incentive, there's no reason to push yourself. Most people will just coast. Some people will have integrity or have ambition to excel, but most people just coast. So that's what happens when there's no competition. People provide if you've ever been in a area code that has shitty cable, but there's only one cable provider or one internet provider. It's well, they don't have to work any harder because they're not going to lose any business because there is no one to lose it to. That's the problem with government interference on that stuff. It's if anyone can compete, then every company has to come to the table with their A game, or they'll just get swallowed up into the ocean and into the abyss, and they're gone. So that's why I believe in more like free market capitalism, because I just think it keeps them all honest. Wow, you guys are chatting a lot tonight. Holy shit. This is a wild stream. It's been hanging out in the chat. It's already been an hour and a half. I was like usually planning on wrapping it up. Oh, I guess I'll talk about the Elon emails thing real quick. You didn't hear about the tax plan, the $4.5 trillion tax cut for the billionaires. Are there that? I don't know. I didn't. I'll have to look into it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. All right. Let me, I guess just because it's in the title, I might as well talk about it. But the Elon emails thing, there was this thing that Elon put out to the government, to all federal employees. And it was like, give me a list of 5 things you accomplished last week. And that was met with like a degree of controversy. I guess some people were annoyed. Some people were like work in the private sector. It was like, yeah, that we do that every week. That's totally normal. It's not even that big of a deal. The federal government should have to do that too. Some people were criticizing it, being like, it just kind of feels like a boss being like, I'm your boss. Show me your worth. And Elon said that it was about. He said it. He didn't say it immediately, but he said basically what he thinks. His reasoning is that he believes. And Doge believes that there's a lot of government employees who do no work at all. They don't even check their email. They just kind of collect checks from the federal government. And this is a way of kind of weeding them out. Which, when he says it like that, it's like, that makes sense. You know, if you didn't even notice you got that email, like if you didn't even like, you know, if you're so disconnected from this job and you just collect your federal check and, you know, you don't do anything, it's like, it's a way of like weeding them out. It's like, okay. I don't know if they should be forced to resign, but I'd say that's when you start investigating, is when you didn't hear emails back from these people. Then you know. But I guess he's just trying to be as efficient as possible as getting rid of people. It's a big job. I mean, the government's friggin' huge. We employ a lot of people. And then further controversy was Tulsi Gabbard told all of her defense people, or her intelligence people, I mean, don't just ignore that. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Because they deal with all this classified information. And I was like, yeah, that also totally tracks. Like so far, like I don't really see any kind of controversy here, you know? Like also, like Elon could be bluffing. It could just be a bluff. He could just be saying that, you know, like, hey, or you're going to resign and just see what happens and then kind of like aggregate the results and then like figure out from there. But I really like write an email. It's not that big of a deal, is it? You know what I mean? Like, what'd you do last week, you know? I work with a whiskey company. I have to report what I do every week. I have to report, like, you know, where I was, like what businesses I was talking with. It's not to, like, keep an eye on me. It's just so that we have an open line of communication that we know which businesses we've already hit and, you know, where not to go again. But it's not like I'm not like, what the fuck? I got to tell them where I was last week. It's like, it's not a big deal. I don't look at it as a big deal. I do it. I don't know. I'm not really sure what the problem is, but anyway, Greg, yeah, the mass firings of government workers is pretty cold, and it's definitely going to break shit recklessly. The inspector generals were already there to monitor waste. Yeah, but they were doing a terrible job, dude. They weren't doing a good job. Just because they were there. I mean, there was plenty of things that were there to, like, fix the system, but they weren't working. You know, it's like there's certain things I think that they've done that, you know, it's like the move fast, break shit kind of mentality. It's like, yeah, some things got broken and then they fixed it. You know, they're like, oh, they handled the nuclear waste. They got fired and they were immediately rehired like within 24 hours. So it's like, okay, they recognized their mistake and they fixed it. You know, I feel like a lot of this stuff can just go, especially when we're facing down the barrel of this, like, of literal bankruptcy as a nation. You know, it's like spending more on interest to the national debt than we do on defense. And we spend more on defense than anyone in the world, like the next 10 nations combined. Okay, that's a problem, man. It needs to be addressed, and drastically. And if that means, you know, like, oh, well, don't get your federal pension, or your cushy job is gone where you did nothing and shuffled papers. I'm sorry, I'm not really crying any tears for you. I am kind of concerned with this nation. I am concerned with the health of America. With America! And yeah, the rich don't need another tax break. We've seen 45 years of trickle down. It doesn't work. The rich aren't. I don't know what you're going to say. But we all need a tax break, man. We all need a tax break. We all need to stop government spending more than anything. That's the biggest thing. You know, if you drained every billionaire's bank account and threw it at the national debt, it wouldn't make a dent. Would make a dent. So that's not the problem. The problem is not taxing people more. The problem is government spending. And we got to stop the government spending. And we're doing it. I mean, it's happening. I can't believe it's happening. I never thought I'd see this in my entire life. The way they're gutting all this bullshit. It's great. People are like, oh, it's less than 1%. It's like there's billions and billions of dollars. That is good. That can go back to the American people or just not be spent. That's the thing, too, is it's like, yeah, it might cost that program that much that year, but these are programs that just keep going and going. I mean, there was like, what was that one thing about a contractor who'd been paid for like 30 years? So, it was like a one-time thing, and then he just kept getting more checks for the next 30 years. These are good things that they're doing. We should be stopping all of this stuff. I don't understand the counter-argument other than you just don't like that Trump's doing it. If you have like a reasonable concern, it's like, move a little fast. All right, that's fine, but like, you still should be in line with the end goal. Like, it's a good thing that it's happening. I get the break shit approach. I just don't trust Elon to do it in good faith. I do. Yeah, I do. I don't really see the counter argument. He's doing it for free. People argue that he'll benefit from it. It's like if he was already benefiting greatly from the Biden administration. So if he wanted to just benefit more, wouldn't he just, gas up Kamala? Just get more money that way. I don't see that argument. It's like, I still don't see like, so he'll accrue more than $400 billion. Like, then to do what? Like, I don't understand. Like, I just don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't buy the motivation. I believe very much in incentives, and I don't think there's any incentive here that he's going to get, he'll get another 13 billion. Like, I can't imagine that would make even the noticeable difference in his life on any level. I just don't believe it. I don't. All right, a few more chats here. I'm going to wrap it up. If you don't consider these are actual families and people losing their job for no reason with no notice, dude, that happens to everybody in the country, man. Sometimes an entire company goes under. That's life. It sucks. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not happy people are losing their job, but it's a net gain for America every time you lose a federal employee because you're not spending tax money on it. I'm sorry, That stinks, but like, no, like I hate to use the boomer meme, but there wasn't all this outrage when people were getting fired or sent home without leave or just, fired unceremoniously for not getting the COVID vax. There wasn't this outrage from the left. They didn't give a shit about these people's families and stuff like that. Now they do. Blow me. I don't buy it. I think it's all ideological. Single moms abusing welfare are getting cut off. I mean, finally. They've already said those people getting laid off will continue to collect a check for a year or so while they're... there you go. Their entire year is subsidized. That sounds great. I would like that. Can I get checks for a year while I look for a job? That sounds fantastic. He was so being investigated. Okay. I know you're talking about with the whole thing, and it was it was like the most surface level, like obscure thing. It's like, okay, if you want to attach your flag to that, man, go for it. I feel like there's no way I'd convince you otherwise. It's like, believe whatever you want, brother. Believe whatever you want. They took down every department that was investigating him, 200,000 people. I feel like that's the narrative. Like, I feel like that would not hold up under scrutiny. I really don't. And it's like, investigating him for what? Like, I just don't. I've heard this argument before. I've looked into it. I did not see that it held any real weight at all. I feel like it's purely ideological. But, okay. A lot of them were probably killing it at their job. That's a pretty generous interpretation of federal work, man. I don't know. You said that in Canada has literally checks for a year while you look for a job. Yeah. We're not productive, folks. That's funny. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the MFer Podcast. Thank you very much for all the new people. Weird, but I appreciate it. Come back. You more liberal types, Talk Life and Greg Hurst. I appreciate the conversation. You guys were pretty reasonable. You weren't just, sounding off leftist stuff. You were actually engaging in the conversation. That's all I ever wanted. That's all I'll ever want. So I appreciate it. And the, the regs, the normal people that are here, Listless, Cotton, Wake Down, Dildo, Zax, Big Ship. Who am I forgetting? Morgan Holloway? Other people? Small Time? You guys are all great people. You're all wonderful Americans. Thank you very much. Thank you for the members who are still members. And we will be doing a member stream this week. On Thursday. I'll leave it open. Any level of membership. Greg, if you want to join and come yell your liberal nonsense at me, you can. Only costs you the lowest membership tier. We'll be live on Thursday with the membership, so it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. You guys can come screech. You guys can come screech all you want. No, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate everyone. You guys have a fantastic evening. If I don't see you on Thursday, I'll always see you next Monday at 8 o'clock. Have a great night.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Yeah, boy!